Keep it high, keep it tight. It's Jamarious, Review Guy, back to bring you another 5-minute review. I'm very excited to be back behind the truth desk because the last two videos that I have released, I was not in them physically. I was not feeling the best for the last album review I did, which was for Love Yourself Tear by the K-pop band BTS. And then I released the World of Warcraft Iron Man Challenge Episode 2. That's going up every Saturday, so be sure to drop a like. Those are going to be longer videos, and I hope you guys will follow me on that journey. So, we're back, and things are business as usual. There's not going to be any more like changes. I don't have any plans to change up the formula. I like the formula that I have, and I'm excited to kind of continue on with this type of schedule, this formula. So today we're going to be talking about Jonathan Davis's new album entitled Black Labyrinth. So this is Jonathan Davis's first album ever since he signed personally to Sumerian Records, not like Korn, the band, just Jonathan Davis signed to Korn, which I think is really cool because if you watched my video of like my favorite album labels and you've watched a lot of my reviews, you'll know that Sumerian Records is my favorite album label. So I was very surprised by this because Jonathan Davis, I'm not saying that Sumerian Records isn't like a big label, but for somebody as big as Jonathan Davis, I'm surprised, but I'm excited, I'm happy he did. So I'll be honest. When I first heard the introduction track, which was not the introduction track, like the first single, and obviously the last song on the album, entitled What It Is, I was extremely underwhelmed. I only went back to listen to it a couple more times, and it's not one of the things that it got better with time. I was not into that song, and I wanted to stay optimistic because even if I don't like a certain song from the album, I try to stay open-minded about something. But it sounded to me like Nine Inch Nails and Korn, the band Korn, had a watered-down child. And it sounded just, to me, it was things that I've heard so many times before, and I just did not get into it. And sure enough, when the album came out, I gave it a listen. It's a 50-minute, 28-second album. I could not get into this album. I'm going to be honest. A lot of times, if there's an album that I like, I really want to give the shot, but I don't hear a good like single off of it, but I'm optimistic about it. Usually there's maybe even one or two songs that I'll like off of it. There was really no song on this entire album that I was just really into, that I've gone back and listened to. This album, to me, falls majorly short. The lyricism, Jonathan Davis is a competent lyricist, but it comes under the issue that because he's been doing Korn for so long, it might be hard for him to find certain new topics, but the lyricism, it's a bit weak in my opinion at times. It's a bit easy to follow, which isn't a bad thing. The instrumentation is fairly run-of-the-mill. Like I said, it sounded like something you could hear from like in an industrial band, or like just an industrial rock band, or a new metal band, and sometimes he slows it down, and obviously Jonathan Davis has this kind of creepy tone that he'll sing with. It's kind of dungeon troll sounding, like I can't even do it. It's just like this weird shrieking, not shrieking, just like this crazy like schizophrenic type sounding tone, and that's really not for me. I'm not a huge fan of bands and singers that do that. That's just me. And I felt that not only was this album maybe a bit run-of-the-mill, but I also think it could have been shorter. It's 50 minutes, but at the same time, I've done some research. I do research on albums before I review them. Jonathan Davis started recording this in the early 2000s, like 2000. Well, actually, it might have been middle or late. He started recording in it supposedly in the 2000s, but really started getting work in the late 2000s. So he's been working on this for a long time, and you can respect that. And I know that a lot of people really dig this band, and I'm excited for Korn's new album. I'm not that big of a Korn fan either, but I will review it. And overall, this album, to me, personally, falls short. And I want to review albums on this channel that aren't really my forte because I want to give them the chance to be my forte. But I don't want you guys to think that I only review bands that I like, that review albums that I only think are 10 out of 10s. There are going to be some duds, and to me, this is a dud. And I I can say that thoroughly, I did not really enjoy this album. To me, it's only going to get a 4.10 because it's not even average or above average. To me, it's below. And this album had a lot going for it, and I think that it's all that Jonathan Davis could have done, because he's Jonathan Davis. You've heard Korn, and if you are into Korn, you're gonna like this album, because this honestly sounds like it could be a Korn album, but he does experiment with like some ambience, some dark sounding vibes, some synthy stuff, and overall it's like an alternative metal type of thing. And I'm sure I could see songs like What It Is or Basic Needs or Everyone on like the radio, but for me, I just really didn't like this album. So I'd love to hear what you guys think, though. This has been Jay Mercer, Review Guy, and until next time, I'm signing off saying farewell.
Oh no, what your mama gonna say when I tell her that I broke no heart? It's just things aren't the way that they used to be. Oh no, now you crying on the bathroom floor, and I guess it's the end. Well, I lost my mind and I lost my best